hopefully this top stays put. It keeps like rising up above my boobs. Welcome back to my channel. I am your favorite Mava Bougie Vintage, and today's video is of course a story time, as you can see by the title. 2 story times back to back. Pat on the back for me. As you guys know, I am super duper excited to be filming, even though I am not being as consistent as I would like to be. I swear to you, I've been trying to film this video for a week now and I haven't been able to do it because life, you know, I'm a busy person. So I'm here today and that's all that matters. I don't exactly know what title I'm giving this story yet, so let's just jump right on into it. As you guys know, last year I had purchased a dog for Salem. I've always liked toy poodles, but I've never been a dog person. I'm definitely a cat people. You know, I love cats. You know, I kind of wish I got a cat instead, but I didn't. I got a dog. So basically how the dog came about was, and before I even get into the story, it's like, what? I don't understand why my hands are dry, but I don't understand why this stuff happens to me. Like, it's like 1 in a million chances that this stuff would happen to me. You know, I live to tell about it, but this story is actually ridiculous. As I was saying, I've never ever pictured myself as a dog person. I've never been a dog person, but we went to Toronto. I think it was when we were going to Mexico. We had gone to Toronto and Salem had interacted with her grandmother's poodle for the first time ever, and it was like so cute and it melted my heart, and I was like pregnant and hormonal and silly. So I thought it was a great idea if I should get a dog. But like 2 under 2, so even though I was pregnant, I was about to have 2 under 2 and a dog. It's not a good idea. Nobody told me, okay? Specifically, Shooter's mother didn't tell that to me, and she was thinking it, but she didn't want to say anything, so she told me after the fact. I wasn't in the right mind state to be making a purchase like that. Just because when you're pregnant, you're hormonal, and I was also breastfeeding Salem at the time, so there's those hormones on top of being pregnant, and like, it's just not a good idea to get a dog that needs to be trained, as well as having a baby, looking after a newborn, looking after a toddler. Like, it's just a lot all at once. But my theory was that Salem needed a friend because she didn't have any, and I felt like I didn't want her to be like jealous of the baby when the baby came, so I kind of wanted to get her her own thing to, you know, allow her to go through that while I was going through changes of my own. Girl, it done snowed. It is hot as tits in here. I have the window open, but it's not cold today or something. It's ridiculous outside. Anyway, after I saw how Salem was with the puppy, how she was fearless, she wasn't afraid of it, because when I was a kid, girl, I'm scared of dogs. It might be like in the black DNA and the black gene. I was terrified of dogs. Big, small, didn't matter. If I saw a dog walking on the street, I was walking, you know, far away from it. Like, I never ever liked dogs, but as I got older, obviously I got over my fear. When I saw Salem with Honey, Honey's her grandmother's dog, I was like, wow, she needs a puppy. Anyway, once we got back from Mexico, actually I was on the way back from Mexico, we were in the car driving from Toronto, I was online looking for a toy poodle. My landlord had obviously stated that he did not want animals in his house, so I was respecting that, and so I wasn't gonna get a dog if it wasn't okay with my mom, because the dog would have to stay at her house for the majority of the time. What I did was I asked her if she would be okay with having a puppy. We looked at the puppies together. My mom thought they were super cute, and I even started watching like YouTube videos about getting a new puppy and stuff, because some people do get buyer's remorse, and then it's like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this dog? I feel bad, you know, I'm not gonna bring it to the pound. There's already enough animals at the shelter. Like, it's too sad. I was doing my research, and one of the reasons that I really wanted to get a poodle, a toy poodle specifically, is because they are show dogs and they're super duper smart and they train easily. I didn't want a dog that was going to be dumb as hell and hard to train, because I had other things to do and other things going on. So that's actually one of the reasons I opted to get a toy poodle. I'm online, I'm looking for poodle websites, and I decide to check Kijiji. Honestly, this story foreshadows the moving story It's weird how it connects, but we'll talk about that when I get to the moving story. I go on Kijiji and I find a listing of brand new toy poodles. I'm like super stoked, and I look at the pictures of the poodles that are there, and I look at the breeder and everything like that, and I decide that this is who I'm going to purchase my poodle with. The only thing was that the ad that I found was in Thunder Bay. When I looked at the ad, there was probably about 5 puppies for sale or something like that, or maybe 6 puppies for sale. I actually wanted a girl puppy. For some reason, the girl puppies sell higher than the male puppies, and I don't really understand why, because when you buy a puppy from a breeder, you actually have to like sign documents that say like you're not going to breed the puppy, you're not allowed to breed the puppy, you're not allowed to do any of this stuff. Like, there's so many rules. So I'm not really sure why they priced them higher, but I wanted a girl puppy. However, I didn't want to spend girl puppy money. I was talking to the lady that was selling the puppies. We were going back and forth. I had chosen one of the puppies that was female, and she told me that the price was $2,000, and I was like, I ain't trying to spend $2,000 on a dog. I was like, the cap is 15 for me. Like, I don't want to go over 15. She was like, no, if you don't want to spend that much, I have a similar puppy that's a boy for 15. Obviously, I'm not thinking anything of it. I look at it, the color that I want, because I wanted a red one, which is like the caramel color, and I decide, okay, you know what? I wanted a puppy, the boy. Even though I don't want a boy, I'll still go for the boy because I want a puppy. So I decide, okay, I'm gonna get this puppy. And so she sends me pictures of him, she sends me emails, she explains everything to me, how it works, that I would e-transfer half of the money, which was scary, but not give her the password, so that the day that he is being shipped to me, that I can release the money to her. So that way I felt safe, she felt safe, and everything was good and dandy. I wanted to do further research, so what I did was I hopped online and I typed in the name of her company, and I found a Facebook ad. I was really looking for bad reviews, but I didn't find any. So once again, I felt really comfortable. So because I felt comfortable and I looked at people like leaving comments on her Facebook ad or Facebook page, sorry, it's not an ad, I was like, okay, looks like it's good to go, you know, I'll send her the money and she'll send the dog. The first part of the transaction went great. So she ships me the dog, and I have to pick him up at like this airport thingy, because it came in like a kennel or whatever, and he was so tiny and so cute. One thing that she did tell me before I purchased was how it would work. And she did tell me that I would get all his paperwork with him, because he's supposed to be a purebred dog, and I would get his like veterinary papers. So his vet papers, I would get the papers for his microchipping, like all that kind of stuff, to basically, you know, make the easy transition from breeder dog to now consumer dog. So the puppy arrives, and the only thing that was with him was some sort of veterinary papers, and I hadn't really looked at them at first. I was just trying to get the dog comfortable and settled in, because he was on a long flight from Thunder Bay to Ottawa, and I wanted him to be comfortable. And so I was also and then obviously I had to introduce the dog to Salem, which you guys saw. This is basically where the story goes downhill. So once I had a moment to look at the papers that were sent with the dog, I realized that the only thing that I got was something from the vet, and also cube of like deworming thing, like a deworming vitamin. I forgot what it's called. She had explained to me that I need to give that to him shortly after he arrived, or something like that. Once I looked at the paperwork, I realized I didn't get everything that I was supposed to get, and I was confused. I just let it go or whatever. I was just like, you know what, let me start trying to train this puppy. And so I did. It seemed fairly easy to train at first, but then it was almost like he was purposely being bad. We started to get really annoyed, because I watched all these videos. I was ready and willing to do training. I actually went to PetSmart, because they have like a training class there for puppies and parent puppies or puppy parents. They have training classes there. So I was actually signing up for those classes as well, because after a few weeks of trying to train him myself, and he was getting it, but then being defiant, I was like, no, something's not right here. And so I started to feel like I was sold a lemon, okay? You know Harry Wormwood? I felt like I went to Harry Wormwood's shop and he sold me a lemon. Or I tried to train him. He's doing fine, but then he decides he doesn't want to pee on like the little mat thingies. He doesn't want to pee outside. He wants to pee on my floor. And I'm like, absolutely not. Because I was training him at my house. And then I think that was also a part of the problem. I was training him at my house, and then he would go to my mom's house and be doing the most. And then also he would not stop biting and nipping at us. And he's a puppy, so obviously that's what he's gonna do. But after a certain amount of time, they're supposed to grow out of it, and he wasn't growing out of it. So I'm like, what the hell's wrong with this dog? Then I realized the dog was born February 1st, and he was an Aquarius. I said, oh my God, I bought an Aquarius. Like, I never even thought to think of zodiac signs when purchasing a pet. Definitely something you should do. You know how I am with Aquarius. You know, me and Aquarius don't see eye to eye, okay? So this puppy was an Aquarius, and he was bat-ish crazy, okay? He was actually crazy, and I just could not wrap my head around it. So I end up messaging her when I realized I was having serious issues, because the whole thing about buying from a breeder is that you're supposed to be able to go back to them and talk to them about the dog, and like they'll help you. They're supposed to be really helpful. And so when I went back to the ad the first time, I saw that one, she had sold the girl poodle for $1,500 instead of $2,000, and then I was really upset because I'm like, I really wanted that girl dog, and I think that she didn't. I think she knew something was wrong with the puppy she sold me, and that's why she sold it to me for the $1,500. Maybe he was being bad at her house and she wanted to get rid of him. I don't know. But that's what it felt like. Because when I went back to the ad, I saw that she put the price down from the girl poodle from $2,000 to $1,500. And then I was like, she could have just sold me the freaking dog for $1,500. So I had messaged her and I was like, hi there, I'm interested in buying a toy poodle, and I wanted to know how shipping would work because I'm in Ottawa. So then she's like, hi, I ship to Ottawa often. WestJet is a fantastic carrier. The cost is $230 approximately, and I provide the kennel, stationary food, and water dishes, and transport to my airport. So then I thank her. Girl poodle is supposed to be 4 to 6 pounds total weight. And then she's like, I will send you her travel itinerary and you'll pick her up at the airport. So then I told her at that time, because 2000 was high, girl. I was just trying to, I actually wasn't really discussing anything with Shooter. I was just telling her, like, I'm going to discuss it with my partner, and then after that, I'll get back to you. But I was hoping that she wanted to get rid of the dogs, so she would just say, you know what, it's okay. But that's not how it went. So after I tell her that, I tell her 2000's too high and I can't pay that for the dog. And she's like, perhaps you should consider the red boy. He will be slightly bigger, but he's only $1,500. So then I said, okay, that price is a bit better, especially because the 2000 would be $2,000 for the dog, and then we still have to pay for the shipping. So that's why I was like, no ma'am, no ma'am. So then I said to her, also, are the pups dewormed and up to date with shots and everything like that? She's like, yes, the puppies have microchip, vet check, shots, dewormed, CKC papers, and shipping crate, and a non-breeding contract as well. So at this point, I'm like, okay, this is legit. Like, I'm ready. I'm amped. I'm like, let's get this dog. So fast forward, she sends me pictures, more pictures than are on that. More pictures than what were on the ad, and I'm like, oh my god, like, this dog is so cute, I need him right now. So then she tells me that he won't be able to fly out until March 28th because he's going to go see the vet on the 19th. And then she said the reason he's going to the vet on the 19th is for shots, vet health exam, and a microchip. And then I said, oh, okay, sounds good. I thought he had that already. And in terms of vet checkups, how often would we have to take him? I've never owned a dog before. My husband has, but only as a child. I've always been a cat lover, but the way my daughter was with her grandma's puppy, it immediately converted me over, LOL. After I said that, sis went straight to, I require a down payment. She ignored everything I said, and she's like, I require a down payment. And from that point is when I started looking at her sideways. So then I was like 50%. And then she's like, you will do for me with this boy. He's intelligent. I didn't even understand what that meant, but then she said 50% is great. And I was like, okay, sounds good. I have my bank set up with my PayPal. We can do it through there. I think you would send me the request for 50% and I'd accept. I clicked the PayPal button, but it didn't give me options, so I canceled. The reason I obviously want to pay through PayPal is because if anything were to go wrong, I could get my damn money back. If I paid through e-transfer, it would be problematic, because this is when, like, I don't play with my money, okay? So, like, if she was actually a scammer, then I could send her e-transfer and there's nothing I could do about it. If you are unfamiliar with e-transfer, it's basically sending money via the internet through email. Whatever bank that you bank with, you would add the person as a recipient, and then they either are going to have auto deposit, or you can put a password in so that when they get the email, they have to put the password in to accept the money. If you go that way, you can cancel it, but only if they don't have the password. She says, good. I do not use PayPal, but there was literally PayPal on the ad for Kijiji, so I was confused. And she's like, you don't use e-transfer? And I was like, I do, but because we're so far apart, I feel safest using PayPal for the deposit since it's through Kijiji and I won't be receiving the puppy for 2 weeks. So again, she hits me back with, how long until I get my money? I'm like, is this lady okay? Because the conversation we were having earlier in the day was like, super duper like chipper. It was good. And then once it came down to the money, she was like, I'm about my money pimping. Like, she didn't want to have no long talking. She was just like, I need a deposit. When do I get my money? And it was the wording she was using. I was like, something's not right with this lady. So then she said, last time I used PayPal, it took over 30 days. And I said, it's usually instant, I believe. I use PayPal a lot because I work from home. I've never had an issue. She's like, I had a nightmare with them a month ago. So then I said to her, we can try, and if it's not instant, then we can go ahead with the e-transfer. What's your PayPal email? She's like, no thanks. Girl, this was a clear sign from God that I should not even bother with the transaction. I don't know why I was still deciding to go. So then I said, all right, I guess, because I was like, this is Jekyll and Hyde. Like, why is this lady turning on me? She's like, I'm sorry. Then she texted me again after she said, I'm sorry. And she's like, I'm legit. Have you seen my Facebook page? And I was like, yes, I Googled you yesterday. She's like, let's just think about it. If you are sure you want the puppy. I said, it's just a lot of money with nothing in hand over an e-transfer, and PayPal offers more security. That's all. She's like, yes, I understand. Why don't you try sending $20? So she gives me her email. I said, okay, I sent it. It said you should receive it in seconds. And then I said, and with the second half of the deposit, I'll pay e-transfer, no problem. Once I have the dog, I don't care about, like, if I have the dog, I'll pay the e-transfer. But if I don't have the dog, I can't pay e-transfer, period. So she's like, yes, it worked. So then I was like, yay, okay, I'll send the deposit now. Like I said, Jekyll and Hyde. This lady was up and freaking down. So then she's like, I cannot believe it. I'll check my account at the bank. So then I had to explain to her, when I transfer money from my PayPal to my bank account, it usually takes 1 day if I send the money before noon on the day I receive a deposit. And then I was like, transfers to the bank from PayPal, it says 3 to 5 business days depending on the amount, but I've never had it take long. She said it will take 3 to 5 days. And then I was like, I use mine very often though, so that may be why it's only 1 day or sometimes the same day for small amounts. And then she's like, okay, that's fine with me. I said, okay, cool. I said, sending now. She said, great, thank you. And then I said, all right, it's done. She said, thanks so much. So then I tell her, thank you and thanks for working with me on the PayPal things. I just want the safest transaction possible. I'll be sure to leave you a review once I get him, which I did not do, which I should do. Okay, but I did not. This is her review right here. Hi, Yelp. Anyway, she's like, you are so kind. I appreciate your business, Moxie. Who the hell is Moxie? And then I said to her, I'm sure you'll have lots of referrals from me. I have 4 sisters and a large following online as well. Then she says, you are very kind. I'm glad my puppy will have a home with you. Take care. So then a few days later, she messages me and she says, took your boy to the vet yesterday. He is perfect. He weighs 1.15 pounds. I'll be booking his flight for Friday of next week. Usually the flight arrives in Ottawa around 5 to 6 p.m. Is this okay with you? I will need your name, address, postal, blah, 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 blah. So then I was at the nail salon. Okay, so I told her I'll message her in a little bit. So blah, blah, blah. She gives me the flight stuff. And then she tells me she just found out that she can't book the flight until 4 days before the flight. So she'll get back to me. Which I should have realized also here that doesn't make any sense because she said she ships to Ottawa all the time. So shouldn't she have known that this is regular? Like, shouldn't she know all the airport stuff already? Whatever. So then I said, okay, no worries, just keep me posted. So on the 26th of March, I messaged her because the dog was supposed to be coming on the 28th. And I tell her, hope all is well. Just wanted to know about the flight arrangement or if you'll be making them today. She's like, I sent it about 2 hours ago, I guess to the wrong address. And then I said, oh no, I see it. So she had emailed me, but I didn't see it. So that one was my fault, okay? So she messages me and she's like, are you ready for your puppy tomorrow? He's a happy tail wagging boy. He received his dewormer and is clear. I'm sending a second one to be given in 2 weeks. I've never had worms at my kennel. I don't believe her. But always good to check. If you're ready to send money owing me, that's great. But if you wish to wait until tomorrow, that's just fine too. When you pick your puppy up tomorrow, there will be a closure around the door of the crate. Please bring scissors to cut them. Do not bring scissors into the airport. Any questions? So then once again, I get her now email for e-transfer. I go to pick him up at the airport thingy and he was a little late, okay? He was on color people time, but then everything was fine. We were totally obsessed with him, totally in love with him. He was so cute and small and cuddly and shy and like, you know, a puppy, a perfectly fine puppy. And I told her that he was acting really nervous and she said it's from the noise on the plane. On April 5th, she messages me and she says, your papers and your CKC forms are here. I'd like to send them to you. May I have your home address? I hope you and your family are enjoying the puppy. I'm here if you need me. So this is where I'm like, I thought that I had the papers. I thought that I had them because the dog came with papers, but I didn't realize that I didn't have the papers. I'm like, hey, we're enjoying him. He's been pretty good potty training, but we're still having some accidents. So we're going to start training classes at PetSmart next week. So I tell her my address. I said, also, I noticed in his little documents you sent, there was a metal dog tag with numbers on it. Am I supposed to put that on his collar? And when should I give him the deworming? Again, thanks in advance. That was April 6th. So then she's like, thanks, I'll get right to you. She didn't answer anything that I asked her in that last thing. Then messages me 10 days later. And she's like, hi, I hope this note finds you well. I have not sent the CKC papers just yet as I am just getting over being hacked. I said, what? I said, why is there so much drama with this woman? My PayPal account was linked to my bank account and someone got a hold of all my info and stole $3,600. She's like, in the past, you told me that PayPal was secure. And I said, I know this lady ain't trying to blame me now for her PayPal problems. So I wanted to inform you of my experience. Please be careful if you continue to use it. I'm not going to use it anymore. Hope your puppy is doing well and your little daughter is loving him. So then I said, oh, wow, I'm sorry to hear that. I've been using PayPal for years and I've never experienced anything bad. I hope you're able to resolve the issue. We're enjoying him and he's a handful, but still fun and still trying to get him properly trained. Do you know when you'll be able to send them over or can they be emailed to me? First of all, it was supposed to come with all the papers. Didn't come with the papers. Then she says that my papers arrived and she was sending them. Didn't send them. Messages me 10 days later and tells me that she was hacked. Girl, what do my papers have to do with you being hacked? Are you telling me that $3,600 is all you had in your account and you can't send pieces of paper in the mail for 25 cents? Actually, I don't know how much a stamp is because I don't send mail like that. I pay like $15 for shipping parcels. But seriously, it's inexpensive to send some damn papers in the mail. There's no excuse as to why she was holding on to my papers. I said, also, I asked you some questions in the last message I sent, but you never responded to them. I wanted to know about giving him the deworming and about the dog tag in his documents that you sent with him. She didn't respond to that. She said, no. I think I'm missing a screenshot. But she said something to me about, she said, no, they didn't refund anything. They said I made the payment, which I did not. So I sent her screenshots of my PayPal transactions because I was like, I'm about to let this lady tell me that I took the $3,600 out her account. I'm not gonna let her blame me for nothing. So I sent her screenshots of my PayPal transactions to show her that I sent you the money on whatever date and blah blah blah. So then when she told me that they didn't refund her, she said PayPal didn't refund her. So I said, then I suggest contacting your bank to file a fraud claim, because they'll be able to trace the funds for you and replenish them. When you make a payment to or from PayPal, it shows you exactly where the payment went, and as a buyer slash seller, you have 180 days to report a claim to get a refund. They don't usually tell you that you made the payment, and that's it. Very odd. Those are screenshots of money in and out of my account, so you can see that it shows exactly where the money comes from and where it went to. I wouldn't just let $3,600 come out of my bank account and not fight for it. You should insist that they look into it and get your money back. And please let me know when you'll be sending the CKC papers. Can you be quiet, Mr. Tractor? Oh. So CKC papers are Canadian Kennel Club. Disregards what I said, and she said, what did you name your boy? Question mark. And then she's like, also, this is 2 days later that she's responding to my message. She said, also, I need his microchip number, please, and the date it was implanted. So I tell her we named him Mushu, and I send her a picture of the implanted chip thingy. So then she's like, love the name. She's like, perfect, thanks so, Mushu. She's like, I got my money back. My bank refunded it as it was a fraud. Yay. And I'm like, this lady is lying through her teeth, because anytime you report anything to your bank, they go do an internal investigation. This is only like 2 days later after we spoke. There's no way that she would have got it back so fast. It would be at least 10 days for them to investigate. So I knew that she was just freaking crazy, and she's just telling me lies on her damn teeth, okay? She said, the tag is your puppy's microchip info. Yes, you can put it on his collar. I said, oh, yay. That's awesome. Glad you fought for it, because that's just not right. And okay, will do. I gave him the deworming pill a few days ago. When will I receive the CKC papers? She's like, I'm sending the forms tomorrow in snail mail. Please fill them out and send them back to me. I'll submit them as soon as I can. So then I said, oh, I didn't realize I'd be sending them back. What exactly are these forms, and what do we need them for? So then she says, they are his CKC forms to have him registered in your name. So actually, as of today, the dog is not registered in my name, because I decided I wasn't gonna sign the papers and send them back to this lady, because she definitely scammed me. We'll get into that in a minute. So then I go on the CKC website and I look at the selling practices. Girl, definitely she failed in this department. I end up messaging her. I don't even know what day this is, because I screenshotted the same day that I took it, and it just says Thursday. So it says, hi, we're having issues training Mushu, and we'd like to arrange to return him. I didn't want to bring him to the kennel. I didn't want to bring him to the shelter, so I figured, you know what, I'm going to return him to the seller, because we were having serious issues with him. I said he knows where he's supposed to use the washroom, but he keeps going in different places around the house. I spent so much money trying to train him and also fixing things he's damaged. He also keeps biting and scratching us, but we figured it's because he's still a baby. We chose this breed of dog because we did a lot of research, and they're supposed to be very smart, but it's not working out and turning to be more stressful than anything. I read that I should message the breeder before trying to find another home for him, so that's why I'm messaging you. I'm hoping you could refund me. Please get back to me as soon as you can. She's like, I need you to remind me of who you are. I had actually gone back to the ad, but the ad was gone. So I had to find her, go on Facebook again to her little thing and message her there. I tell her we're quite sad about it, but we've tried everything. She's like, I understand. She's like, when do you want to send him back? I said, as soon as possible. She's like, you have to make the arrangements. I'm like, I'm not sure how all that works, so I would have to check with the airline. She's like, check with them tomorrow and let me know when the flight can be booked. I was like, okay, will do. And I never received my CKC papers unless they're in the mailbox. Now, if they're there, should I send them back with him? She's like, yes, and his vet booklet too. Can you send him in the crate I provided? I said, okay, I'll do that. And for the refund, I'll assume it will be e-transfer. And yes, I have, and yes, we still have the crate. We kept his blanket as well. She's like, I will send the refund. I am only supposed to send $200. That's all I am required, but you still haven't signed the papers yet. you haven't received them. So because I didn't have the dog registered into my name, so technically she's supposed to give me back all my money. If I had signed the papers, she's saying that she's only supposed to give me back $200 out of $1,500. She's smoking dick, okay? Anyway, I said, I see. Guess it wasn't meant to be. Well, I will message you tomorrow when I know more. Thank you for understanding. She's like, I haven't ever had a puppy return, but what exactly do you want back? If he is untrainable, what is he worth? When she said this, I said, ain't no way this lady is a dog-loving breeder, because what the hell does she mean? What is he worth? And this was clear indication that she is puppy milling it all the way, okay? She's like, I can try to train him and resell him. I said, I've never had a dog before, so it's not that he's untrainable. Maybe we just don't have enough time or attention for the training to work effectively. She's like, yes, that's a possibility. I said, we feel like he's pooping and peeing because he wants more attention than we can give him, because he goes in his designated area when we are around and wants treats. She said, once I get him home, here, I'll send you some money. And I was like, but if we step out too long for his liking, then he poops and pees out of spite. She's like, I need to think about all this. So you tell me from how the beginning of the conversation she was like she understands to now she needs to think about it. And then I was like, some money? What the hell she means some money? So I said to her, some money. And she's like, how much do you want? Space question mark. Listen y'all, this is before I was saved, okay? So I don't really know what's gonna happen in this conversation. I don't know what's gonna happen because there was no Jesus involved, okay? So I said to her, a full refund minus the transportation. I'll pay that, no problem. She's like, how long have you had him? I said, since the end of March or beginning of April. Not long at all. She's like, that's 6 weeks. And I said, what does that mean? She's like, in his life, it's a long time. How old is he? Like, you read the dog lady, why don't you know the answers to the questions you're asking me? What does she mean, how old is he? I don't freaking know. I'm like, well, I haven't received the contract as you stated. You were supposed to send it with the puppy, but you never did. He was born February 1st from what you told me. She's like, okay, I haven't received the CKC papers yet. He's 14 weeks old. And then I said, you told me you sent them in snail mail. What do you mean you haven't received them? Like, what? This is what I'm saying. This is like 1 in a million. This stuff is so stupid, and I don't understand why it's always happening to me. So I said to her, you told me you sent them in snail mail. She's like, I will send you $750 when I receive him and $750 when I resell him. Is that reasonable to you? And then she said, I will need to retrain him, and that takes time. I will not get full price for him. You will still get a full refund. I said, sorry, I just need clarity here. If I'm still getting a full refund, why does it need to be broken into 2 payments? She's like, to give me time to resell him. I'm asking that, please. Perhaps this is not acceptable. I would prefer to be paid in full once I send him. I'm not comfortable with that arrangement because I have nothing to say that I will actually receive my money. She's like, question mark, what does that mean? I'm like, once I send the puppy, I would like the refund and to just be done with this. No sense in breaking it into 2 payments. I don't see the logic there. She's like, because you are not thinking about the dog. Oh, really? Says the lady that just said, what is he worth if he's untrainable? Like, what? He's still a puppy. Anyway, she's like, I will need to spend hours working with him. I said, I am thinking about the dog. If I wasn't, I wouldn't have messaged you at all. She's like, I will send you all the money. I was like, thank you. I will message you tomorrow with the details. Then she says, I want to see the dog here first, then I'll send it. Good. Thank you. You will need, and she gives me her address and her phone number, crate size and weight with the puppy, and that's what she tells me. And then the next day she messages me and she's like, did you get around to calling the airline? I didn't respond to her. I don't even think I knew that she messaged me. Based on our conversation, I was like, should I even bother sending him back? Like, I need to figure out something else because I don't like the way this lady's dealing with me. I don't like the way that she's dealing with the dog, and I'm not even comfortable at this point sending him back to her. So I didn't check my messages or anything like that, and I didn't call the airline either. So Saturday she messages me again. She's like, did you change your mind about the puppy? So again, I didn't respond to her, and then she responds to me, or she messages me again. She's like, hi there. I'm wondering what you want me to do for you. Please answer me. I really want to know what is happening. Is he coming back to me? If so, when? So I said, hi, I was weighing options. My mother-in-law said she will train him for me. She has a poodle herself and lots of experience with dogs. Can you tell me when exactly you sent the forms? She's like, when I sent what forms? You guys, I don't understand. I don't. I said, because you're only in Thunder Bay. I should have received them already. My CKC papers. She's like, I haven't received them back from the CKC. So then I told her, you told me you did. She's like, I don't recall that, sorry. Okay, Stevie J. What you mean you don't recall? Like, what are you talking about? So then I said, on April 25th, you told me that. She's like, no, I have no CKC papers of any of the puppies yet. I said, I have the conversation from Kijiji. She's like, okay, let me see it, please. So I send her the conversation, and then I said, why would you tell me you're sending them, but now you're saying you haven't received anything from CKC to send to me? She's like, because I send the forms to CKC, and they register the puppy and return the forms to me. I said, from our initial conversation before I purchased the puppy, you informed me that I would receive the paperwork with the dog. I actually thought the vet booklet was the forms. I said, yes, but my point is, you stated that you already sent them to me when that's obviously not true. She's like, perhaps I did not make myself clear. I am trying to figure out what happened. I don't think I sent you the papers as I just registered him to you. There is a second form. It's a non-breeding form, and I will send that to you tomorrow. The puppy is still mine until you fill the non-breeding contract. But if you are returning him, then I will not send it to you. No reason to. Do you understand? So then I send her the CKC guidelines for sellers, and I tell her that D through J were not followed. She's like, why is getting his CKC paper so important to you if you are not keeping him? I said, and I specifically asked you for a toy poodle, and you sold me a miniature. I realized that when I looked at the vet papers. And so that's why I say I got scammed, because she specifically told me that he was a toy poodle. But when she brought him to the vet who obviously knows best, put that he was a miniature poodle. And I know he's a miniature poodle because the dog is big as hell. He ain't the size of a toy poodle. We'll get into that after. She's like, are you saying you have a problem with me? Return the dog for your full purchase price. I was like, ma'am, at the beginning of this convo, I said my mother-in-law is going to train him for me because you have been very shady in your business, and there is no guarantee you'll even refund me my money if I pay to ship the dog back to you. She's like, I'm going to report this conversation to the CKC. What they gonna do, lady? I ain't the dog breeder. So then I said, I have already started to report you to them. I have all of our conversations from Kijiji. She said, good. I didn't report anything. I was bluffing, okay? I was like, the dog I initially asked you for, you had at $2,000, only to lower the price to $15,000 anyway before you deleted your ad. She's like, I'm going to get the puppy back. I have offered you the money in full. You have no reason to report me. I sold all the puppies. Baby girl was panicking, okay, honey? She didn't want them to come and shut her little kennel club down, okay? So I said, well, then someone is going to have to pick him up and give me my refund at the same time because I don't trust you, as you've already deceived me. She's like, no, I have done nothing wrong. You are mistaken. I will ask around and see who is going to Ottawa. I will find someone to come and get him. Your money will be returned. I said, great. She's like, this will be done. I said, please have it sorted by Monday. She's like, they wrote the wrong size of puppy and you call me a scammer? No, I want him back. I will work on it tomorrow. I said, that's not the only issue. I'm not here to argue with you. Figure it out. Thanks. She's like, it is the only issue. I have not done anything wrong. You took the puppy for over 3 weeks and now you think there's a problem with him. You did not take the time to train the poor dog. That is your fault, not the puppy's. My cousin lives in Ottawa. I will ask her if she will get the puppy. The paper you gave me from CKC is so tiny print I can't read it. I will make sure you get your money in full as I promised. I said, all I did was train the dog. You do not live in my home for you to tell me what I did and did not do. Nonetheless, the information from CKC is all stuff you should know. If she's a damn breeder, she should know D through J and she should be following D through J. I should have to tell you, send you no screenshots of D through J and you tell me about the print is too small from the CKC. Baby girl, you should have that memorized like a lawyer has their books memorized. Like what? I said, nonetheless, the information from CKC is all stuff you should know. It's on your website. It's on the CKC's website under selling practices. She's like, I did nothing wrong. In 10 years, I have sold about 100 puppies. I've never had this happen. I'm glad you contacted CKC. I said, well, there's a first time for everything. She's like, I will call them tomorrow. I said, didn't you say you're arranging for the puppy to be picked up? She said, I hope they can go to your house and remove my puppy. I said, I hope you won't be able to scam anyone else. She said, OMG, 27 hours drive from you. I will see what I can do tomorrow. Did you want to see me in court. You cannot say those things. You would have to be able to back that up. I said, ma'am, court for what? You said I'm getting my money back and that you're taking the puppy. She's like, I'm finished. I will contact CKC in Toronto tomorrow. All I need from you is your address. You accused me of being a scammer. I said, contact whoever you need to contact and let me know when you have it sorted out. She's like, that is horrible. I feel very sorry that I did business with you. Good night. I said, I'm telling you to your face that I feel like you scam me. You're lucky I haven't gone to your page and shared a public review. I came to you first. I feel the same way. She's like, send your home address, please, and we are done. She's like, you are saying you can ruin my reputation based on your feeling? I'm talking to my lawyer tomorrow. I said, go ahead. She said, I do not need your permission. Defamation, and she spelled it wrong, of character has to be proved. It requires courts and lawyers. I will not allow you to ruin my reputation. No address. And then I said, love, defamation of character would mean I went public with this situation. She said, you have called me names, threatened my reputation. I can't believe you. What is wrong with you? I said, I called you what you are. I never said it to anyone but you, okay? Please look up defamation of character. She's like, no, I know what it means. So you called me what? I'm like, please stop messaging me and figure out the puppy situation, please, so I can be done with this and get my money back. Spoiled, rotten brat. Leave me alone. This is a grown, like 60-something-year-old woman, okay? I'm saying that based on her pictures, but you know, some people age like milk. So I don't know if she's 60-something years old, but she was definitely old. So I said LMFAO. She's like, send him back on a flight and you will get your money through a trust through CKC if that's possible. And then I said, and I can confirm that how? She's like, I would not ask anyone to meet you. I said, what happened to your cousin that lives in Ottawa? She's like, I said, if that's possible. I said, didn't you tell me to leave you alone? Stop messaging me, figure it out in the morning, and we will go from there. Good night. She's like, this is about a business complaint, not a family matter. You send the puppy back and you'll get your money back. You are making me sick, high blood pressure. I won't talk to you again. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is so stupid. She must have said something about CKC because I said, no, CKC is going to deal with you. She's like, you misunderstand what I say. I said, no, I do not trust you to refund me my money back once I book that flight. I didn't misunderstand anything. She's like, CKC will help you. It's obvious I cannot help you. You just want to fight. I'm sorry you are having such a terrible time with this. I said, I've tried multiple times to leave this conversation, telling you to figure it out in the morning, and you keep messaging me as if you need medication. It's you that wants to fight. And then she's like, LOL, no dear, it's you. I said, okay, love, good night for the 100th time. She's like, never met such a mess. Well, God bless this mess, child. God bless this mess. I said, okay, Karen. Okay. So then she's like, Mrs., and she says her last name, to you, stop bothering me. Okay, Miss Janet, if you're nasty, like, what the hell? So then she messages me, I think the next day, because this is like, it's nighttime. I'm literally laying in my bed while she's talking to me. So the next day at 12 o'clock, she's like, she looked up the midpoint between Thunder Bay and Ottawa, and it's Timmins. Would you like to meet there? She says to me. You bring the dog and I'll bring your purchase price for him. No more threats or insults. Let's get this done. So then I said, that is an 8-hour drive. I have a newborn and a 16-month-old. It's not realistic. My mother-in-law is willing to train him properly until he's ready. And at that point, I just had to block the lady because she was doing too much. But yes, the dog is not a toy poodle, and that pissed me off because I spent $1,500 on the dog. And it's funny because when I posted the video of the dog, or like revealing the dog to Salem, some of you guys were commenting and you guys were like, oh, are you sure that's not a golden doodle? Like, you guys were saying that it looks like a different kind of dog, but because I had his papers from the vet, I knew that it was a purebred poodle. It just wasn't the poodle that I had requested because there's multiple kinds of poodles. There's toy, there's miniature, there's, I think, standard. The miniature are in between the freaking standard and the toy, and the toy is the smallest of the three, and I didn't want a miniature poodle, so I paid $1,500 for this poodle that's not a toy poodle. It's a miniature poodle. He's still not registered. He's not here at my house. He actually is in Toronto with Honey. So we still have the dog. The dog is still Salem's, but we just haven't transitioned him back over here. And Salem's grandma actually loves the dog so much she doesn't really want to even give him back. So there's that, but she said she won't keep him because to her it's Salem's dog, and so she said whenever we're ready to take the dog back to give to Salem and Belle, then you know we'll do that. But as of right now, the puppy does live in Toronto. He does not live with me, unfortunately. He was too freaking crazy. Like, my mom was so stressed out. Every single day she would come over to my house and she's like, "Me can't take that dog there." She's like telling me the dog has to go. Like she's like, "I'm sorry, but this is not what I signed up for." And you know, it wasn't what I signed up for either. I had no idea that the dog was going to be the way that it was. But since he's gone to Toronto, he's had like a temperament shot and he's a bit more calm, but he's still a really crazy dog. I don't know if he was dropped on his head or something when he was a newborn, but he is doing three much all the time. I don't think he bites as much anymore. He's a lot bigger than a toy poodle, and he weighs way more than what he's supposed to weigh as a toy poodle. So he's happy in Toronto. He's happy with Honey. Honey's older, way older. Like Honey, I met Honey when Honey was a baby, or when they first got her, and that was in 2012 or 13. So she's a pretty old dog now. At one point we thought that they were pregnant, but then they weren't. And I was like, yes, I want to make my money back from this dog. But yeah, Honey's I think too old to get pregnant, so she's not pregnant. And they're living their happy married life. You know, Honey's a cougar. Mushu is her boyfriend. You know, I felt really bad when I realized that I was gonna give him back, but I really didn't want to bring him to the kennel or to the shelter. I didn't want to put him down. Like, he was just like, no. And so I was like, after doing all this research online and stuff, I saw that the best thing to do is to message the breeder and see what can be done. But I messaged her and I saw once more that she was crazy, just as crazy as the dog. The dog and the breeder were one and one, okay? They belong together for sure. And I just wasn't trying to get down with it. She was actually crazy. I wouldn't feel comfortable sending my puppy back to her. She may resent him and try to hurt him. You know, I don't know, because she just lost money. You saw how she was acting when she lost $3,600 out of her account. She was just being crazy for no reason. Like, that never happened. That's not how bank fraud investigations work. So there was little red flags all the way across the board that I was missing. Or not that I was even missing, but I was just like, you know, sometimes you just let people do what they do. So that's pretty much what happened with the puppy, and that's why you guys don't see like more pictures and videos of him. But he does come visit. So obviously with COVID, he hasn't been here in a while, and he hasn't been to my new place. The last time I saw him was at my old place. But like when we FaceTime, we see him, and you know, I can't say I miss him. Salem definitely misses him. She loves Mushu, but I personally don't miss the dog. And when I have to actually take him back, as long as he's like well behaved, I think it'll be fine. But if he's still crazy, he's going right back to Toronto full life, okay? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My advice for this story is, one, if you are pregnant, don't be making no decision like that to get a dog. Two, even if you're not pregnant, do ample research on the dog and make sure you have the time and the efforts to put in to properly train the dog. Also, make sure that wherever you're buying the dog from is, you know, reputable. I didn't find anything online about her, so I didn't think she was a nut job, but it was clear to me that she's a nut job. Part of the reason why people say you should just go to the pound to find a dog, but I mean, the likelihood of me getting a dog that I really loved from the pound was not really realistic, because I was so gung-ho on a specific breed of dog. Everybody's gonna do what's right for them, okay? I thought I was doing what was right for me, but it turns out it was not right at all. And now here we are. So yeah, that's my Mushu update, you guys. The next story I give you guys will be definitely the moving in story. I have to mentally prepare myself to tell that story because I don't want to be getting too upset when I'm telling the story, because the experience was just that, an experience. And once again, it's like, how does this stuff happen to me? Like, why does it happen to me? And if I if I bring my mom up here to tell you guys about the day that we moved into this house, she will cuss me out because she does not want to relive it, revisit it, nothing. But it's good. Anyway, well, good. It's entertaining for y'all. It was not entertaining for us. Anyway, I love you all so much. Tell me about your, buyer's remorse stories, no matter if it's a puppy or something else. I love you all so much, and I'll definitely see you in the next one.
Storage one day I came over by you when I came back.
Did he get out of the storage?
No. I that day I'm like, no, I'm done. I can't.
So
It was shit. He jumping at it, wiping on the wall, pissing at it, and dash over my food, and turn over my water, everything mixed up.
oh my god, he was so bad. Oh.
I lose one whole pair of pants because keep tearing it off.
I'm gonna wake up the girls. Every day you came to the house and you said, he's biting a pig. Every day. Every day, Mom, you came and you were so mad.
I was so mad.
You were so mad.
And the whole line getting worse.
You were so mad at Mushu. Oh my god, I'm crying.
Me leave this two wicked people them over there and go over. I wonder, I'm going to see a wicked dog. Yeah.
Oh my god.
That means me not getting no break. Why is that?
I don't know. Oh my god.
When she said she was gonna take him and didn't and left him the first time.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, she said she was gonna take him and she couldn't. Oh, they wouldn't allow her to take him on the ride share. Oh my god.
She did. I was. But how did she take him the second time?
Jacob and Clayton drove it. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was an experience.
Yeah, that was a mess. What?
And then at the same time, I'm concerned about the neighbors because he doesn't stop barking.
Oh, but they had a dog too. Oh, your neighbors.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
You
for them dog, you know, hear them. You see that one here?
Oh my
I
god.
swear, if I could just go, if the woman was next door, I'll go over there and punch her in her face.
Oh, the lady. I can't. She was so crazy, Mom.
Like the stinking dog. Same personality.
Same. She called me a spoiler rotten. Oh my god. She called me a spoiled brat. Oh my god.
She's a big time crook.
She told me the dog is a freaking toy.
And it's a big old
And it's
giant.
a miniature. It's a miniature poodle. I was so mad. If you see Mushu, Mom, if you see him,
He's a big dog.
freaking huge. only me and Kijiji.
I learn.
Even
You
that
never
yesterday.
again. And then at the same time, I'm concerned about the neighbors because he doesn't stop barking.
Oh, but they had a dog too. Oh, your neighbors.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
You
for them
wouldn't.
dog, you don't hear them. You see that one here?
Oh my
I swear,
god.
if I could just go, if the woman was next door, I'd go over there and punch her in her face. The
Oh,
one
the
who
lady
died
is
from.
so. I can't. She was so crazy, Mom.
Like the stinking dog. Same personality.
Same. She called me spoiler rotten. Oh my god. She called me a spoiled brat. Oh my god.
She's a big time crook.
Told me the dog is a freaking toy.
And it's a big old
And it's
giant.
a miniature. It's a miniature poodle. I was so mad. If you see Mushu, Mom, if you see him,
He's a big dog.
it's freaking huge. only me and Kijiji.
And you know, learn.
Even
You
that
never
to
see
yesterday.
Kijiji again.